about how all this online harassment has really messed up Ashley St. Clair's ability to work. She can't work a normal job now and provide for this child because of all this online harassment. It's really affected the mental health, and there's all these security issues. So you're going to have all these other issues that her lawyer, her very smart lawyer that she hired from New York, that I think had a case against Donald Trump's or worked Donald Trump's divorce or something like that. They're going to come in and they're going to say there's all these surrounding issues and circumstances that mean we need to change whatever the max child support amount here is and ask Elon Musk to pay more in child support to ensure this kid's safety. Hey, welcome back, guys. This is Shah. It's been a while since I made a standalone video, so I figured I'd cover the Elon Musk, Ashley St. Clair situation. That's been ongoing since February, so I figure you guys probably know all about that. Basically, this woman came out and said that she birthed a baby and the father's Elon Musk. There's a whole nother layer of her being a conservative influencer who espouses traditional values, but at the same time has kids out of wedlock with men she's not married to. That's a whole nother thing. I figured we've all been probably through that. So what I'll do is just focus on the child support aspect of this and just kind of see what I think is going to happen. And an important thing to note, and what I'm going to try to explain here, is that some folks have looked at New York, where this case is filed, and mentioned that New York has caps on child support, meaning that once you hit a certain ceiling of income, the calculation isn't really going to process more income to figure that into child support. New York's is at like 183,000 or something like that. But there are some caveats to this, so I'm going to address that a little later on. And in order to make that make sense, I do have to go over some of the statements that Ashley St. Clair's PR guy made, which is this Brian Glick or something, however you say his name. So they put out some statements, and we're going to look at a little bit of that stuff and then figure out what that means for child support. So let's just go and get into this, and I'll try to make this as quick as possible. Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know, this is Ashley, and that's Elon, and they did a whole New York Post paper about this. It's really not that important, but here's where Ashley first let the world know. So this was on her Twitter, and she said, 5 months ago, I welcomed a new baby into the world. Elon Musk is the father. I have not previously disclosed this to protect our child's privacy and safety. But in recent days, it has become clear that tabloid media intends to do so, regardless of the harm it will cause. I intend to allow our child to grow in a normal and safe environment. For that reason, I ask that the media honor our child's privacy and refrain from invasive reporting. So she put that out and basically cited safety as a concern and privacy as a concern. Ironically, she also did do a piece with the New York Post, which came out like a day later, irrespective of privacy and safety. But I want you guys to pay attention to this thread about safety and privacy here, because this is what's going to be important later when we go back to talk about child support. This is another statement put out by Brian Glick. I mean, that's how I'm going to say his name, Glick. And he posted this on her behalf. Ashley and Elon have been privately working towards the creation of an agreement about raising their child for some time. It is disappointing that a tabloid reporter who repeatedly ambushed Ashley and her family made it impossible to complete that process confidentially. We are waiting for Elon to publicly acknowledge his parental role with Ashley, to end unwarranted speculation. And Ashley trusts that Elon intends to finish their agreement quickly in the best interest of the well-being and security of the child they share. So again, this post kind of echoes something similar. And it's about how, you know, Ashley's being ambushed. She's kind of being harassed by these reporters. And it's because it's Elon Musk's kid. Elon Musk is very, you know, he's probably the most high profile guy you can have a child support case on. When I worked at the child support agency, we had a whole section that was devoted to working high profile cases. This could be athletes, singers, it could be a real estate mogul in the area that everybody knows, politicians, whatever. Whoever had public notoriety, we would look at those cases, you know, very specifically, and it got a different kind of treatment. So just to keep those two things in mind, this is a crafted statement here from a PR company, from this Brian guy. Both of those statements were. And they both mentioned something about, the public and the tabloids coming after her and kind of making a unsafe situation for the child. This second one also mentions that they were trying to work towards a private agreement, but they haven't been able to. I don't know why they blame a tabloid reporter for this, because if Elon's team and Ashley's lawyers or whatever were coming to an agreement, I don't think a tabloid reporter would matter that much, but maybe there's some stuff in the background that's going on. But basically what this means is that Elon has not signed any paperwork for the child. It means that he hasn't publicly or privately acknowledged the child or legally acknowledged the child. And they're trying to get him to do this because they need him to be legally the father so that they can get child support. So first comes paternity, then comes child support. And we know this because of some other text messages that Ashley had leaked about her conversations with Elon in this regard. So here's a post that features some of the leaks, and we'll go ahead and focus on this one. This one says, and this is Ashley St. Clair, that's her thumb right there, and she's using another phone to take pictures of this phone in which she was communicating with Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is saying, I get credible death threats every day. I'm number 2 after Trump for assassination. Wake up. This is not the time for sentiment at the expense of safety. If I make a mistake on security, this kid's name will never know his father. And then she responds and says, that's why the father spot on his birth certificate is blank right now, E. And why he has my last name. Elon says necessary for now. Only the paranoid survive. And then she says, I understand. Apologies if Ava's text upset you. There has been incredible discretion used here, as will continue to be. So this is prior to putting this on blast on Twitter. Then Elon Musk says the threat level will reach insane levels until the election is decided. Loose lips sink ships. Okay, so this is yet another indication that we have a kind of security concern here. And she's going to use this. She's going to use this basically in her court filings to let the court know. So this is one court filing right here. And it just mentions this as part of the exhibit. So that screenshot we saw looks like it's part of the exhibit. It says, respondent acknowledged parentage of the child in various written correspondences to me, including on or about, something 2024. And I sent him a photo of me and our child after birth. And he stated, I look forward to seeing you and him this weekend. And then when discussing safety concerns, he stated, if I make a mistake on security, R will never know his father. I then informed respondent that was why his name was not on the birth certificate, and he stated necessary for now. Okay, so this is just talking about all the evidence. It also mentions her that she gave birth to the child with the child's name, and it also mentions that she was not married to the respondent. So she's not married to Elon Musk. That's important because what that means is that the presumption of paternity is not there. So when two people are married and a child is born, the husband of the woman is legally presumed by the law to be the father. So legal parentage status is already established. We don't need to ask the courts to do it. There's no special paperwork he needs to sign to do that when you guys are legally married already. So we know they're not married. We know paternity is at issue. Then she says, I am requesting an order for genetic testing to determine the paternity of the child. So this means that he hasn't signed any paperwork to acknowledge paternity. And he hasn't signed any stipulation with them about paternity or child support yet, which is why she's taking this to the court, because she needs to sue him. Whatever happened, they had a disagreement somewhere about this whole thing. Maybe Elon doesn't believe it's his kid. Whatever reason he wanted to do it that way, it sounds like her lawyers and his lawyers just didn't figure it out. So now it needs to go to court, and this is why they're making it public. But you might be asking, why can't they just go to court without putting this in everybody's face? Like, why does this need to be in everybody's face? Can't they just take care of this behind the scenes anyways and file something? Why did she need to come on Twitter? Well, this is where the safety stuff comes in. And you're wondering, well, what do you mean safety? What is the point of, if there's a safety concern, why would you make this public? Well, this is where the child support part comes in. Remember how I said New York has caps on child support, and it's at like $183,000 or something for the calculation. And Elon Musk is the richest man in the world who's not married to this Ashley St. Clair woman. So she's not going to be getting any kind of alimony, or any other division of assets in a divorce or something like that. She's really only going to get child support. And if you look at New York law, it says something very interesting. Let's take a look at that. It says, where the court finds that the non-custodial parent's pro rata share of the basic child support obligation is unjust or inappropriate, the court shall order the non-custodial parent to pay such amount of child support as the court finds just and appropriate, and the court order shall set forth in a written order the factors it considered, the amount of each parent's pro rata share of the basic child support. So the important part about that is that written into New York law is this ability to deviate from the guideline. Okay, so even if there's this cap on income, a judge can look at that and say, well, based off of some of the testimony and the arguments put forward by the other side, I'm determining that what this calculation says isn't appropriate for this specific situation. Okay, fine. But how much money does a baby need from child support? Wouldn't the max amount be fine? I mean, what other possible thing here could make this an unjust amount? It's already capped. Well, this is where these statements about safety and security and privacy and all that kind of stuff start to come in. Now, here's the guy, Brian Glicklick, CEO of Digital Strategy. This is who's representing Ashley about all this stuff. He's an expert authority in regular broadcast and print commentator. But if you scroll down here, and if you look at this bullet point, this is what's important. It says online harassment, bullying, and stalking directed against children and adults. So harassment, online harassment, bullying, and stalking directed towards children and adults. Now, if you look at Ashley's first statement here, she talked about wanting to protect the child's privacy and safety and about how the tabloid media is coming to cause her harm and it's so invasive and she wants everybody to honor the child's privacy, right? And then he came and he said something. He's talking about the well-being and security of the child. And he's talking about how, he's disappointed Elon hasn't sat here and got this stuff figured out on the other side. Basically, what they're saying is that because of Elon Musk's high-profile status, thereby giving this baby high-profile status of Ashley St. Clair's, baby here, whatever's going to be ordered by that capped amount of the guideline child support from New York is actually unjust, right? Because there's a security threat here, meaning this kid probably needs 24-hour full-time security. This kid can't live here, in some super urban populated place. Maybe they need some sort of special mansion or something with some high walls to keep the hoi polloi out. You know what I mean? Because this kid needs privacy. They're going to sit here and they're going to come up with arguments about Elon Musk being number two, about a security risk or threat, and about how all this online harassment has really messed up Ashley St. Clair's ability to work. She can't work a normal job now and provide for this child because of all this online harassment. It's really affected the mental health. And there's all these security issues. So you're going to have all these other issues that her lawyer, her very smart lawyer that she hired from New York that I think had a case against Donald Trump's or worked Donald Trump's divorce or something like that. They're going to come in and they're going to say there's all these surrounding issues and circumstances that mean we need to change whatever the max child support amount here is and ask Elon Musk to pay more in child support to ensure this kid's safety. Mom can't work because of all the online harassment and bullying and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, that's basically it. That's the plan. That's why they came out here and they did all this stuff and made a big show of it, because they're trying to say Elon Musk has been negligent. He allowed it to get to this point to where the privacy is being violated and so much time is going by and he hasn't signed paternity for this kid and he's not paying anything. And furthermore, we need way more than whatever New York says is the max. Okay. So yeah, that's basically the whole game right there, right? There's a part in this law in New York law that allows the judge to deviate from guideline child support to whatever they think is just. And her lawyer is going to come in and say, these are my arguments to why this guideline support amount is unjust. And I want the court to write this into why it's going to deviate. And here's all the expenses we foresee for this kid that's outside of the normal stuff. Safety. Mom needs a roof over her head because she can't work for all this online harassment and bullying stuff and all these every time she walks out of her house, Laura Loomer is there waiting behind bushes to start videoing her with the cell phone and asking her questions, investigative journalist style, and therefore she can't live a normal life. So now we need all this extra child support from Elon Musk. So anyways, yeah, that's the point. I think I went a little bit over than what I wanted to do. I said I was going to try to keep this short, but that didn't happen. So anyways, guys, yeah, here's your, standalone video. We got stream going on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And I got some other stuff in the works with some other folks that'll be posted to a different channel. And I'll put that in the Discord and try to make a community post about that stuff. So if you made it this far, hit the like button, guys. Leave a comment. And we're going to be following this case. We'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some more court documents here. We'll see what the final amount's going to be. Maybe we'll see what arguments they put forward for why it should be more. But this is what I, as a former child support officer from California, am seeing when I look at all this stuff that's been put out here. When I'm trying to put it together, this is the direction I think I'm going to see the case go here. So again, things are in the air. Elon Musk's attorney might come back and say, hey, there's a jurisdiction issue. Let's challenge jurisdiction. I want this case in Texas. Maybe they're successful there. I don't know. And, or there might be, I don't know, maybe they do the genetic test and the kid isn't his, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? So exciting times. We will catch you guys on the next one. This is Shah.